Hi, I'm Dan Tuckler. This is week 5 of music production, and today we're going to talk about delay effects. Here's the basic setup. I'm running Ableton Live 8. I've got a keyboard sound which is Rhodes Mark II, old-fashioned, they call it Keys Old School Mark II, which is a Fender Rhodes. I've got something called AU Net Send, which sends the audio output to these meters. Now I have a VU meter, a Lysigou meter, and a spectrograph. So let's see what it sounds like. You can see on the Lysigou that the left and right are completely balanced. The line is just straight and vertical in the middle. Okay, I've added what Ableton calls a grain delay. The grain delay is giving me 1 millisecond. That's the minimum amount of a delay it can do. So that would correspond to a frequency notch at about 1 kilohertz. So if it was a comb filter, it would show you a frequency drop out at 1 kilohertz and then multiples of that. I've also got the wet dry set to 50%. So let's see what this sounds like. We'll start with the filter off, and then we'll turn the filter on. So you can see it hollowed out the sound quite a bit. It's very hard to see any kind of difference on the spectrograph, and the reason is you need to start with white noise, which fills in all the frequency spectrum, and then when you apply comb filter to it, you can see the notches very clearly. So I've taken the grain filter and I've put a couple of changes into it. One is I've got a dry wet mix of 26%, so it's going to be mostly the original signal, but a little bit of echo, and I've changed the delay to 50 milliseconds. So this is now a slapback filter. Let's see what it sounds like. This is with the filter off. Let's turn it on. So this would simulate an echo, a single wall echo, and it makes the sound a lot fuller. Next up is a flanger. I've set the rate to 1 Hertz, so it's going to be going through its cycle about once a second. It's 100% wet. Let's have a listen. Look at the Lysigou pattern. It's really filling out the sound field now. Very spacey. Next up is a flanger. It's also 100% wet. It's also set to 1 Hertz. And let's see what it sounds like. That's the earth sound. Ableton also has a space sound. Let's see what that sounds like. Okay, the final delay effect we're going to look at is a long delay. Ableton calls this a filter delay, and it combines filters, delays of various different kinds. So let's start it out with the delay off, with the filter off. Now I'm going to turn on the left channel delay, which is set to delay for 2 beats. Look what happened to the sound field. A lot of energy on the left side now. Let's try the right hand side. Now we've got a feedback loop at 25% going through a filter. It's a slightly different filter for left and right. I'm not running things through the center at this point. I've got the left-hand side panned completely left, right-hand side panned completely right. And it gives it a nice full effect and really fills out the sound field. Thanks for suffering through my video. Hope you enjoyed it and learned a few tricks. Really had fun learning the ins and outs of delay effects on Ableton. And the graphs were kind of fun too.